No, 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 no.
Another day, another round of idiotic comments by James Gunn. A while back, I made a video talking about how he should just stop discussing his DCU since he can't stop contradicting himself, and that clearly didn't happen. Every time this guy opens his mouth, he just keeps changing his mind, exposing that he's either a moron or a liar. At this point, I could see either one being true, because while he's made some great movies in the past, he seems like the wrong person to put in charge of the entire stable of DC characters. But don't take my word for it, let's get into all the dumb crap he's been saying lately.
Let's get this over with.
Now we all know the classic James Gunn lies, like his BS age reasoning for ditching Henry Cavill that he contradicted with his own words and decisions. The latest nonsense comes from his genius casting for Maxwell Lord. Out of all the actors in the entire world that have zero roles in his DCU, James Gunn decides to pick his brother Sean to play the part. That gives Sean 3 roles in this rebooted DCU, adding to his 2 roles in Creature Commandos. That show was one thing, it was a small, unimportant animated show, and frankly, I can't blame him for trying to help his brother get some smaller supporting roles to keep himself afloat, since clearly nobody else wants to cast this guy in their movies. I don't agree with him doing it, but I can understand it. To actually go and cast him again as a major DC villain though is just ridiculous.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
How anyone can claim this isn't nepotism is beyond me. Sean is not some famous actor or a fan favorite. The only reason he got this role is that his brother is in charge of DC. If you genuinely believe he could land a role like this if someone else was in charge, then there's a padded room over at Arkham Asylum with your name on it. Honestly, he's not even that good of an actor. People can get mad at me for saying that, I don't really care. He's a decent supporting actor who can occasionally be funny in a dumb way. Even other actors are speaking out, with Zachary Levi saying how it must be nice to have your brother be in charge of DC. I'm sure Levi is a bit pissed about his Shazam controversy. Who wouldn't be after The Rock drove the people's elbow directly into their DC career? But those two aren't mutually exclusive. Levi can be pissed off and completely right when it comes to this situation. Definitely seems like we won't be seeing him suit up anytime soon though, because something tells me he won't be getting a call from James Gunn in the near future.
Because he is dead to me!
People love to point out that other directors have favorite actors they work with, and that's absolutely true. They do work with those actors frequently, on different films. They're not sitting there casting them in 3 different roles within the same universe because they're not batshit crazy. I don't think anyone would care too much if he cast his brother in one mid-level recurring role within the DCU, because again, we're all human, we get wanting to help family. But 3 roles? Come on, man. He's in charge of the entire DCU, and if he lets his biases run wild, this thing is gonna be a nightmare. This is a guy whose ego is through the roof after never being told no, and his response just insults the audience's intelligence and shows how little respect he has for the fans. There's no shortage of actual talented actors available. Casting someone 3 times in the same universe is just plain stupid.
Sounds like this guy is a fucking moron.
And then there's Superman Legacy, which just gets messier every day. Just look at all these confirmed characters for what is supposed to be a solo Superman movie. I mean, does Superman even get a damn line in this thing? And keep in mind, there's still more to come according to the head dunce himself. His reasoning is just a joke. The way he tries to claim this is just like other movies that always have more than 10 speaking roles just proves how disingenuous he's being. These are all superheroes who undoubtedly have their own solo projects in the works. Let's not pretend like this isn't some big attempt to get audiences hyped for those projects. Compare this to Man of Steel, which had other characters like Lois Lane, Zod, the Kents, and some military personnel. Those are all clearly just supporting roles in Superman's story. Superman is the only real superhero in that movie. This movie is stuffed full of major DC heroes and villains, and it's pathetic seeing Gunn try to compare his monstrosity of a movie to other much better films.
Is your idiot brain getting fucked by stupid?
Again, these aren't just cameos, as Gunn himself points out. They are all going to impact the story in a meaningful way. but he still tries to say this isn't a large film and that it's normal for single protagonist films to have other characters, claiming it's unusual for them not to. Because we all know every classic single protagonist superhero movie always has at least 10 other heroes, right? We all remember when Green Lantern and Aquaman showed up in the Dark Knight trilogy, or when Hawkman and Wonder Woman showed up in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, right? Yes, James, you're right. It's very unusual for solo hero movies to only focus on the hero. Smart observation, buddy.
Where was it you graduated from again? The University of Duh.
I swear this guy just makes himself look like a dumbass every time he opens his mouth. He actually had the audacity to criticize cameo porn, which is basically just stuffing a bunch of characters in as cameos in a movie, while he's still busy stuffing his movie with every DC character he can get his hands on.
Is this a joke? Is this a joke?
Everyone loves to compare his new DC to the animated Justice League show, but they choose to forget that before that show came out, we got separate shows focusing on Superman and Batman. Those two shows each developed their characters before introducing other heroes later on, because anyone with half a brain knows cramming the screen with a bunch of new heroes is a shitty way to start a new universe. The rumor that Gunn's Superman movie is supposed to be a showcase for potential buyers of WB or DC starts to make a lot more sense the more crap he announces. By all means though, James, keep adding characters to this movie. At this point, he won't be satisfied until Superman Legacy's opening scene contains not only the entire DC universe, but some Mortal Kombat and Looney Tunes characters too.
It's too much! It's too much!
None of this is surprising given what we've seen Gunn say and do since he's been in charge of DC. Non-stop contradictions, lies, and disingenuously attacking fans sure is a great way to instill confidence in a fan base that's been suffering through one upset after another. At this point, I just enjoy watching him get caught in a new lie every day because it's pretty clear I won't be enjoying any of the crap his DCU puts out. So let him cast his brother in 3 roles while ignoring more talented people and kicking out a highly popular and well-liked Superman actor. Let him stuff his bogus Superman movie with as many DC heroes as he can think of. After all, who needs Superman to be the clear main focus of his first movie? I hate to admit I had some hope when Gunn was hired for the role, but if the higher-ups keep letting him drag DC on this little ego trip he's enjoying, then they better get ready to make Marvel movies look like box office hits.